About that one, is it the Rocket Classic? Rocket Classic,
yep.
That is it? Okay.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
Four wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Welcome everyone to John Glenn High School, just about underway here in the Rocket Classic. It's the host school, John Glenn, and the visitors from Catholic Central here today. We welcome you everyone to our broadcast spot courtside. Jeremy out alongside Chad Bush to bring you the call here today. Well, two teams, maybe in a little bit of a different spot, but both fairly fresh head coaches as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a first-year head coach in Torrey Jackson.
Yep.
And he's taken over a Detroit Catholic Central program that, look, they needed to get better. Aaron Babbitts went out, made a move, and he thinks this makes them better. And they've got players that are returning. It's not a bare cupboard for Torrey. And then on the other side, look, Jarrett Smith in his fourth year says this is our year. Like, we can start making some strides. We got some guys, and he wants a new culture and to change the culture, and he thinks he could do that today with a win over Detroit Catholic Central.
The challenging thing for both of these two teams, which they haven't really dealt with, and they really won't deal with it too much throughout the year, both teams playing in a back-to-back, which is kind of interesting.
Very interesting, and both coaches kind of using it strategically to get ready for March. When if you go deep enough in the tournament, you've got to play back-to-back games and get your bodies ready and your minds right. So, yeah, I think both coaches, especially Torrey Jackson, says, look, we want to get ready. This is going to help us. And both teams were challenged last night, so it won't be an easy recovery for anybody. There was some energy exerted on both ends for both teams.
And that's kind of the interesting thing about the Catholic League this year. Obviously, the expanding teams, now the other teams from Ohio are in the mix, so you won't play everyone the full gamut. You will in Michigan, that is, but that's why you play so early. It's kind of like the college feel. You play a few non-conference, you go to your league, you go back to non-conference, and then finally in January all the way back to league.
Yeah, it bounces around, and you try to get different teams and try to get some non-conference tough games. I think both teams wanted a balance, right? I think they wanted some games that they thought they could win and some games that they thought they'd be in for it. But last night they were games that they were in for it, and CC was on the downside of a three-point shot late. Really gut-wrenching loss. And for John Glenn, hey, they lost by 8 to West Bloomfield. I hate to say it, but not a bad loss to a pretty good West Bloomfield team. So I think they come in, on the uptick. Interesting to see how CC responds from that gut kick last night that De La Salle gave them in their own gym.
Well, we had the chance to catch up with both head coaches. Chad had the chance to catch up with Catholic Central. Here's that one first.
Welcome to the Rocket Classic. Catholic Central and John Glenn about to get at it at the top of the hour. We're joined by the first-year head coach at Catholic Central, Tori Jackson. Welcome to the Catholic League. Is this a place you ever thought you would end up? In Metro Detroit in the Catholic League at one of the prized private institutions in the state of Michigan.
I'm excited. It's a blessing for sure. With everything that took off, the success that I've had individually as a coach, and the success our teams have had, the teams that I've coached, I'm just honored and I'm blessed. I came a long way. I remember my first year at John Glenn, Bay City John Glenn, and having a bunch of guys that were brand new that weren't as athletic and skilled, and a couple years later we winning, finishing third in the Saginaw Valley League. So things that was unheard of there at that moment. So to have that success there, have the success at Grand Blanc, and now working in the Catholic League and coaching in the Catholic League, it's been an honor. It's been a blessing so far. So
Tori Jackson took Grand Blanc to the Final Four last year in his 1 year at GB. So here you are, 2-2, a couple of blowout wins, a couple of close losses, including last night in your opener in the CHSL against De La Salle, a gut-wrenching loss on a late three-pointer. A tough way to lose your debut in the Catholic League, but I know you guys have shown some great signs already this season.
Yeah, the guys have really grown. They're improving. They've been asked to basically defend a certain way, a different way that they're not accustomed to, but they're doing it. And that's what we've hung our hats on, is just getting stops and playing defense. And we've held teams to, I think the most that anybody's had on us is 52. 53 was with him hitting the three the other day, but that's the most we've had or anybody's had against us. So we've held everybody else. Waverly scored it at 80, 85 points a game, and we locked them up to 49. So it's there, it's starting to come. We just got to learn to finish games and win games, the close games. So I'm excited about our guys and where we are.
You've got some great offensive weapons, and TJ coming back, and Uchenna coming back. I mean, that's a great place to start, and that's Lee. You got some big pieces. I'm sure I left guys out, but the cupboard wasn't bare when you took over.
No.
You guys put up 85 points the other night against Waverly. You showed the ability to hit the three. What is this team gonna be like offensively?
Everybody. It can be anybody at any moment. Asher Swardini has been our leading scorer. The other night, TJ, one of our better shooters, was our leading assist man against Waverly, and then he follows that up with a shooting spree against De La Salle the other night. So it's anybody. It could be anybody. We've had games. The games we won, we had 4 or 5 guys in double figures. So they've learned to just play the right way and trust each other, and anybody can eat. And when that guy got that hot hand, let's feed him. Let's keep getting it to him. So they're playing the right way offensively. We just got to learn how to be efficient and limit turnovers and things like that. So I'm excited to see us continue to grow. It's only been 6 months with this group. So just imagine a couple more months from now. And then I got some of my younger guys, my starting point guard, and one of my starting guards is a sophomore. So having him and then a couple juniors, like, we're gonna be really good in a year. So even in February and March is what we're really aiming for, to make that deep run. So these couple games, we got a back-to-back versus a really good John Glenn team. So that's athletic. So we get to play different styles. De La Salle kind of stalled it a little bit, pass, cut, move, and wait till you fall asleep. John Glenn wants to get up and down. They're athletic. They want to press. So it's 2 different styles, and each night, how do our guys adjust? How do they pay attention to the scouting report on a quick turnaround? So this is where I like to do back-to-backs and stuff like that, to see how where they're at mentally and where we can build going into February, March.
Great catching up with you. A lot to be revealed tonight.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
learn a lot about your team, and respect what you're doing in the back-to-back and the challenge. Same with Coach Smith.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck. We'll catch up with you down the line.
Thank you so much, Chad. I appreciate you guys.
You bet. That's Tori Jackson, the first-year head coach and the former 2-time state champion in high school in his own right at Saginaw BV. We're coming back with more as the pregame rolls on from the Rocket Classic. We're the Prep. Thanks for watching.
More pregame coverage here on the Prep. Excited to speak with Jared Smith, the head coach here at Westland. John Glenn, your 4th year here. Just, give us a whole scope of where you think the program's at right now.
It's still getting built. We're still trying to build a culture coming from a school from Romulus High School to here. Just trying to teach people how to really transition to being the hardest working program in the state and, in this part of the region. So it's still a building program, but it's definitely moving in the right direction.
Well, you've kind of had the unique scenario because you played at 2 high school programs yourself, one of them being here, one of being Romulus, and now you have the opportunity to build both programs. How's that been for you?
It's been good. It's a new challenge. Obviously, I followed Nate Oates, who is maybe like the best high school coach of all time. So that was more a little bit established, coming into him, keeping it going, kind of keeping that motor running. But now coming back somewhere where it's not established and being able to establish it, it means a little bit more meaning with it. So it's been a challenge, but, what's life without them?
You had a pretty tight game last night here at home as well as this, a back-to-back for you. What did you see yesterday?
Just putting 32 minutes together. We got to win every possession. So not looking at the big result, but always looking at winning every possession, coming in here, not taking no plays off, and being the hardest working team at all times. And obviously, we had a lapse in the 3rd quarter, but nothing's perfect outside of, Jesus Christ. So at this point, they just got to learn how to bounce back quick.
Right. Well, I know you pride yourself in conditioning, your program in general, so they should be ready for a moment like this, right?
They should be, but, we'll know about 20 minutes from now. We'll definitely know. And it's a big environment. Most of my guys are first-year varsity players. So, again,
sure.
I played in a big moment, but you can't – my experience isn't going to help other kids understand what they're about to walk into.
Well, something that you've tried to do, especially importantly this year, is schedule hard. Obviously, CC is a part of that, but scheduling with a purpose to try to build up the program, right?
Yeah, because you got to win the right way. So, to me, if you don't play the best, how do you know where you stand at? So, we can get a false perception early in the year and play teams that we know we can blow out, but the real perception is you got to play the teams that are going to be down in the quarterfinals, the state finals, teams that have successful programs to understand where you're at. So you can only base it off playing against the best. If you don't, then, what are you really testing yourself against?
Yeah. But you like to pressure the ball on defense. How do you think that matches up against a team like CC?
We're going to find out. Guarding the ball, to me, is not something that takes talent. It takes effort.
Yeah.
So if we guard the ball, we put plenty of effort in to guard that. And, Tori's over there doing a great job with the guys. So we're going to see. We're about to test the theory out and see if it works.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Best of luck here today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's the head coach of Westland, John Glenn. More pregame when we get back right here on the Prep.
Years of playing sports took a toll on my feet. The worst was the tear in my Achilles tendon. I went to fix my feet today, and I've been pain-free for 2 years. I'm back to pickleball 5 days a week. Amazing.
I've been fixing foot pain for decades. Don't give up hope. Call or visit Fix My Feet today.
Fix My Feet is now open in Rochester Hills, located on Rochester Road in the Target Center. Come in for a free consultation.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Welcome back to John Glenn, everyone. Jeremy Addo and Chad Bush are bringing the call here today. Last game of the Rocket Classic as these two teams do battle on back-to-back days. Shamrocks looking to continue their solid season so far. John Glenn still looking for a signature win of their program, but they've played a tough schedule thus far. Tip when we get back here on the Prep. Stick with us.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. They're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors!
What a cut.
Does your bank make you feel like you belong there? At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, you are a member of a financial institution that serves the Catholic community, providing you with an opportunity to align your banking with your Catholic identity. You receive all the products and services you need to manage your money, and your membership helps support Catholic schools, parishes, and organizations. It's time to put your money where your faith is. Visit AllianceCatholic.com to get started today. Service, community, Catholic. Alliance Catholic Credit Union. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
Time to take a look at our keys for today's matchup. Obviously, two teams that maybe haven't had a lot of time to prepare for each other, but it is late in the week, so I'm sure there was some scouting done before last night. But what do you think for these two groups today?
I think for John Glenn, they need to score off their defense. It's all about defending, rebounding, and running for John Glenn. And the Rockets want to do that today. And if Jarrett Smith's club's going to pull, I don't want to say an upset, but I think somewhat of an upset. Wouldn't be a huge one, but it would be that. They're going to have to get turnovers, stops, and be able to run in transition offensively. On the other side, Jeremy, I think Catholic Central needs to come in here. They need to get back to what they did against Waverly, knock down three-point shots, stay confident, and not let the emotional impact of last night's gut-wrenching loss with that late 3 to De La Salle carry over here this afternoon or evening.
And let's face it, Catholic League basketball is physical, so you're going to be banged up a little bit, especially with this quick-ish turnaround today.
You bet. A physical basketball game last night. It was a lower-scoring affair, as you mentioned, 54 to 53. De La Salle knocked off Catholic Central. They're looking to get right tonight on the road here in Westland.
And these are two head coaches with quite the playing pedigree of their own, both at the high major level. As you take a peek at the starting lineups here for Catholic Central, it's a talented group that's also mixed with some experience and newcomers. I think it's a good mix in that variety.
Talented. You've got shooters, you've got drivers, you've got leaders, you've got athleticism. A lot to like about the Shamrocks and the starting five they trot out here tonight.
John Glenn will lose the tip here as it snaps right to Catholic Central. Trip no call there on Swardini. Catholic Central looking to start the right way here on the road. It's Amene, a guy that we're going to talk about a lot here today. Senior guard. He's kind of been there, done that with this program. Him and Nadu are two veterans for this team that they're certainly leaning on.
Strong backcourt, Jeremy. You've got those two guys can do a lot of things at many different levels, shooter and driver.
Really, when this offense gets going, it's impressive to watch because they can score inside and out.
Yep.
They've got a good three-ball presence. They're hunting for one right there. Nadu was really hoping he could jack it, but Lane wasn't quite there.
How about Jarrett Smith's team's defense on this first set? Suffocating.
Exactly what he wants to see. It's something that they preach often. And it's interesting. We heard the same phrase from both of these two college playing coaches. We don't want our guys to be robots, and that's something that can happen certainly here in the high school game when you're just trying to play to win per se and not to get these guys to the next level.
Guys want some freedom, want the ability to make plays, create, do some ISO things. Nice balance.
There's Amene charging his way through, tumbled to the ground, no foul. Braden White with the rebound as he chucks it over the top.
It was a Struther swat.
There's Clark on his way to the avenue. Werner able to strangle it down though.
It's a shutout, Jeremy.
I know, how about that? We could see a defensive battle here today, but not necessarily something that CC is hoping for, I wouldn't say.
No, it might take both teams a little bit to adjust, get over last night's losses.
Swardini looking for that gap, didn't find it. Low pass out for Werner. He's locked up by Gibson. Nadu threatening, he'll take that deep three, in and out. Good look for him, though.
Great look for him. He's got that shoulder right, looks better, fully recovered, Jeremy. They need Nadeau to stroke those shots. He did so against Waverly, I think 7 or 8 triples.
He had a hot start for Steve LaSalle last night as well.
Did he?
Right down the middle, that one crashes short as Devin Lee picks it up. Lee, one of their talented juniors, all the way to the 10. That one disrupted, though, on the other side. Strother got in front.
It's his second block already, Jeremy. No score in this game.
Boy, if you're John Glenn, you got to like what you've seen on the defensive side so far.
Absolutely. The only thing that I would think that they would want to add is be able to run off that defense, and that's tough to do against CC, who gets back strategically and religiously.
White back off for Strother here. We'll exchange one more time, looking for that lane. This CC defense is tight. Decent looking shot, can't get it to fall. And if you're wondering, hey, you know, Westland, John Glenn's trying to wind down the clock. That's the exact opposite of what they're trying to do here today. And Coach talked about that a lot with us. He's not a big zone defense guy either.
Yeah, he just wants to stretch the floor out a little bit. Let his guys that are athletic take advantage of it.
There's a nice step in front steal. Still looking for her first hoop of this game. Catch and shoot. Won't fall as CJ Hearn shows his athleticism on the up there.
Little 1959 special here.
Strap yourself in. Looking to slot it back to the outside. Cameron again waiting.
I mean, this is a defensive battle. Both coaches very defensive minded. And John Glenn likes their bench as well, and some of the depth this year. Still not to the program strength that Jarrett Smith would like ultimately, but he's building it here, Jeremy.
Yep, 4th year coming from Romulus, as he mentioned with us. Taking over for the big-time head coach Nate Oates, who moved on to the college scene and quickly moved up the ranks.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that one swatted out of the gym. How about the look for James Werner on defense?
Werner looking like Dennis the Worm Rodman, getting up there and losing it with the left hand. Another look at it there.
It's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah. And I got flow that'll make some people jealous. Nice all-here team.
Hearn crashing one short. Battle for the rebound. Lee spun away with it.
Yowzers.
CC looking to break the schneid here. They've had some good looks here today. Certainly better, I think, than John Glenn has had so far. Swardini on the elbow. Open shot again. Book hits. Devin Lee finally breaks the scoring drought in this game.
Wow, at the 3:38 mark. And almost 5 minutes. A scoreless basketball defensive gem. He could stroke it though, Jeremy. Brother played last year and graduated, now at a junior college after they transferred over from Bluefield Hills High School.
For a guy like Devin Lee, who's been maybe a little bit hot and cold this year, they think he has a lot of potential as a junior to really take that next step, but maybe that reigns true to how he could play here today as well. Early shot, make.
He's that X factor and a good two-way guard.
Nadeau has attempted 1-3 so far. We'll hand it off. Werner driving into a crowd of white jerseys that time.
Jarrett Smith not afraid to go to his bench. I mean, Kent Hills just popped off, and he's gone to a few guys. Meanwhile, Catholic Central a little more conservative, playing that bench. Gets to go to the Pine.
Catch and shoot out of the inbound that time, won't fall, and Kent Hill able to pick it up. Him and Bryce White have checked in. Catch and shoot from the outside, won't quite fall. Battle for the board in tight space. He tossed it away, and it's right back to John Glenn.
Devin Lee wasn't ready for it, and Werner kind of underhanded it. How about the CC defense?
Well, this looks like a back-to-back, doesn't it? At least early.
It does. It spells back-to-back. CC 1 of 9. John Glenn 0 of 6, Jeremy.
Jalen Clark with the look that time. Lee looking to run. Passes to his white. Swardini gets the roll.
I like this Swardini, just a sophomore, good confident player, good finish. I like how he timed that up and lost the defender, confidently laid it in.
That's bold and defensively, but that will fall through for Jalen Clark. You knew it would come sooner than later, and Clark is one of those best bets to score at first.
5 minutes, 45 seconds CC pitched and shutout for. That's equivalent to like a 7th inning no-hitter.
Something like that, yeah. Efficient 80 pitches, yeah.
Yeah.
Into the corner, Lee thinks about it a little bit, and maybe that caused him to just rattle it off the glass.
Nothing yet for Amene. Surprised that he hasn't had as many touches.
There's Clark again. Falls shy. Picked up by Devin Lee, and Catholic Central has definitely looked to push that pace. Up 5-2 with 1:30 to go here in the first.
Just tight man-to-man.
Through a crowd and swatted away. Strother, that's his 3rd today.
That's right. Dynamic athlete. Plays so hard at 6'5".
White back to the outside. Jerry Harris teeing up a 3 ball. Loose ball. It's going to stay with John Glenn here. They've checked in C.J. Hearn, CC. Once Beckett St. Clair off the bench. And we might see CC sub a little bit more today than normal just because of that back-to-back scenario.
You might, and this is where the depth will be tested as well.
Dribble drive wasn't there. Clark looks for it through traffic. The rebound pulled away by Swardini.
No real second chance opportunities for either team.
And how about that? That is also our first foul with 52 seconds to go here in the first.
Hey, both teams know the Lions play later and want to just finish this thing up. Running clock.
8:30.
8:30 it is. There's another look, and attacking the 10 off the bench, Jack Bolin, the first sub today.
That foul is on White. It's his first. For those of you that haven't watched a high school basketball game this year, there's no longer the single bonus because they now count them by quarters, similar to the way women's basketball still is in college hoops.
That's right. No more 1-and-1. Don't have to sweat it out and gut it out. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it, Jeremy. I gotta be honest.
I don't love it.
I like the drama of the 1-and-1.
What picked off is CC's got 37 seconds to work with here. Bolin exchanges now for Amene. Post flash now to Nadu, trying to get him going. St. Clair dribbles. Back off for Nadu. Ooh, threw it down low. I'm not sure St. Clair was expecting that, or Bolin, I beg your pardon.
Well, and that's TJ's shot. That's a shot you'd love to see him put up. I mean, that's a stroke. Just let him shoot it. That's what he does.
John Glenn just 1 for 11 from the field. Little circus opportunity there for Bryce White. Won't fall. And yes, we promise that is through 8 minutes of this one, despite the score. 5-2. Catholic Central in the lead. Stick with us.
Years of playing sports took a toll on my feet. The worst was the tear in my Achilles tendon. I went to fix my feet today, and I've been pain-free for 2 years. I'm back to pickleball 5 days a week. Amazing.
I've been fixing foot pain for decades. Don't give up hope. Call or visit Fix My Feet today.
Fix My Feet is now open in Rochester Hills, located on Rochester Road in the Target Center. Come in for a free consultation.
Well, it was a joy to talk with Torrey Jackson before the matchup here today. He's got quite the pedigree. He's a guy that took a team to a Final Four in just one season. And he talked about that with us. It was a hard decision to leave his last stop.
Yeah, very difficult. Made the move to Catholic Central, and talk about a guy that played the game and the kind of things he did to take over. This is a program that's a proud one. You see Tommy Lagarde, a 73 grad, a guy that did big things with North Carolina, 9th overall pick in the NBA draft. Look, CC won a state title in 1961, and this is a program that wants to get better at basketball. It's tough in the Central Division. They'd win a lot of leagues in Metro Detroit and the state of Michigan.
Especially with 2 D1 athletes on the
doubt.
floor consistently. They do. That's going to be a goaltend, even though it find its way in no matter.
Yeah. Another look at it. Great throw-ahead pass. How about the assist? What a beautiful dime.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a goaltend go in.
I know. Yeah. Kind of finished it properly.
Kevin Klein, Rick Massa, Dante Favors, your men in stripes today. One of their first.
Good crew.
There's nothing but air. And here's where you could see potentially CC take a handle on this game. They just haven't gotten their top scorers in a groove so far.
They haven't, and John Glenn is responsible for that. Jared Smith's defense is sticky. Comes from the Nate Oates School of Defense. And CC's is as well. I mean, they've given up 2 points, but CC's offensive potential is so much greater at this point than the Rockets. And this kid right here, Amene, has yet to score in this game, and he's their leading scorer. And Uchenna Amene, also a big part that's been silenced thanks to the Rocket sticky D.
Him and Nadu haven't had a lot of looks today. We saw Amene get that early drive.
1 of 14 is John Glenn, and CC's 3 of 13 in this game. Little half-court trap here, Jeremy.
Bryce White able to get out of it. Chucked up for Braden White here on the wing, and a foul is called against Jack Bolin.
Yeah, Bolin off the bench. Some good minutes.
We had just one team foul all throughout that first quarter. And as we talked about early, they will reset at each quarter now. So one on the visitors here. John Glenn looks for something offensively.
We have yet to see Sadiq for Catholic Central in this game, a guy we expected to see. Have to wonder what's going on with that.
Talented junior forward for the Shamrocks. Bryce White doubling one off to his right. Braden White with the catch, and there's an offensive foul on the screen. They say White used the armbar.
That's right. Braden White, illegal screen, armbar. Going back the other way. Torrey Jackson trying to dial up a set. Get one of these shooters loose. There he is.
Off the inside for Swardini. Here comes John Glenn as they get into the hands of CJ Hearn. A little shake and bake move for him into a crowd again, and able to see it trickle off the back of the iron.
First bucket since the 2:15 mark of the first quarter for the Rockets.
Howard back to the right wing. That's Nadeau who drills one.
Smooth stroke, stepping into one. This kid's built to shoot, and good to see the healthy shoulder and TJ stroking it. That's a confident stroke. This is a kid that's going to play in college, and he's he's got a chance. This is a big year for him, and that's an important shot to kind of distance themselves. A 6-point lead in this game is like a 16-point lead in most games.
And Nadeau has always been a high-level opportunity scorer, but they think he's really taken that next step in terms of taking the right shots this year as well.
That's what it's all about. Take the right shots. The shooting percentages go up, the turnovers go down, and guys understanding the positions, being disciplined enough, being willing enough to be a passer, and give up for the greater good of the team for a better shot. It takes a lot of discipline and selflessness.
And Torrey said one of their best games this year was when he led them in assists as well. That
right.
says a lot of a guy that can shoot the lights out of the basketball.
Yeah, 4 assists, I think, against Waverly.
Bryce White back to Braden. Braden puts it right back on the floor here. All the way home, scoop and a score. Nice little scoring move by him.
Yeah, Braden White, fine player, senior guy they're counting on.
Amene hesitating here. Wants Swardini. Nadu gonna attack, had it stripped away, loose on the floor, and John Glenn comes up with it. They've got one extra man, make it 2. The CC has trouble catching up, but that bad pass trickled it to the outside.
They had a 4-on-1 and didn't score. That's a...
Clark counted in a foul.
Great response by Clark, Jeremy. What an explosive player. Guy put up 16 and 12 the other night against Saginaw. Very athletic, short corner, finish, and the foul.
Double-double versus Saginaw for Jalen Clark. Head coach speaks very highly of his athleticism and how he carries himself.
Boy, he looks like an athlete, doesn't he?
He does.
Smooth stroke. Hey, look, it's a 1-point game, just like that.
See how CC responds. Swardini thought about it. He'll put it back on the floor. And nearly threw it away. Nadu is pounded. Foul's going to be on Gibson.
Good hustle, both teams. Nadu comes up with it.
That's the second for John Glenn. 2 as well on CC.
Both teams back to backs, as you've mentioned, and the benches have been busier than usual. CC, a team that doesn't really go deeper than 7, have already tapped into, I think, 8 and 9.
Struther back in. He's been a force defensively for John Glenn. That one nearly poked away by Clark. You can see that even in the half-court game. You can see that pursuit that John Glenn has.
They do, and it's a defense that really takes pride in the way they defend. And when the offense hasn't been as consistent, the defense has for John Glenn most of the year.
Werner, one more pass for Amene through a crowd and aired it out for Gibson. Maybe tipped a tad there by John Glenn.
I think Struther's got him again.
Maybe his 4th.
Man. Closing out that 10 nicely on the south end.
Braden White, pass for Bryce here, their point guard. Trickling pass down low, one more to the outside. Great ball movement here. Can they finish it? Not quite. Stretch out, rebound, and able to get it off the glass and in is Gibson.
Outstanding set by the Rockets. Showed hustle, grit, the teamwork on the passing. They got the right shot. Great set for the Rockets, who had the lead.
Nadu says, anything you can do, I can do better.
A short-lived lead. TJ does it again, his second one from distance.
Well, the scoring picking up as you knew it had to.
They
Eventually.
were
CC extending this zone here. John Glenn looking for answers.
Not really a zone team, but Torrey Jackson throwing some wrinkles in here.
Catch and shoot from the corner. We've seen that a lot. They've missed, I think, every one in that left corner. But a good follow through by Jalen Clark will allow this game to be knotted right back up at 13.
Back-to-back opportunities on the offensive glass, Jeremy. I mean, look at the hustle here. And back-to-back trips. Torrey Jackson says, we're not going to play like this. We're a defensive rebounding team. And you're in the zone. There's problems with rebounding defensively in the zone. But when you switch things up, that's what happens. You get a territory, not a man.
I'll look on the other side for John Glenn. Happy to do our first broadcast from here as well. They've got some guys in this program that have gone on to do good things. I think Jared Smith really wants to establish that just overall culture of, hey, this is a basketball school as well.
Absolutely. Guy Rucker, Tony Goins. This is a school that can win. They did it in football. What a turnaround in football this past year. Jared Smith says we can do it too in basketball. There's no reason. He might start finding those guys on the gridiron in the halls.
9-2. Just ran into a buzzsaw when it came time for state playoffs. We've seen it before. Football can kind of be your tempo setter.
It can be. You can find a lot of guys over there that can add to the roster, add to the depth. Here's another look, Jeremy, at the rip, the drive, and the scoop. That's Ford on the drive, freshly off the bench. Alec Ford, he's just a sophomore.
Of note, that's the second foul already on Gibson as well, with 2 minutes to go here in the first. And John Glenn has their first lead. Or check that, CC takes it back. 14-13.
Hard to tell, they got both logos over both scores. Yeah, I did the same thing.
Another catch and shoot here. Over the top it flew. Nadeau hustles for the rebound. And CC has relatively pushed the basketball when they've gotten that defensive rebound.
They want to get a shooter open here. Lee's been pretty solid tonight.
Counts it there.
Good from distance, good from mid-range. I like Lee. Just a young kid too. Yeah, he's a junior.
5 points, and on the other side, C.J. Hearn able to crash one through.
That was smooth. I like the way the Rockets have been able to finish from within 15 feet. They've been really good in the short corners.
Both teams are shooting 30% or they're around. As another foul. Is that a foul or just an out of bounds?
Well, I'm going to tell you what this is. He called, I believe, a foul, but he didn't call a foul. He should have called a foul. It was a foul, but he just instead let it go and tried to be nice and let him do ball out of bounds.
Nadeau is whistled for the travel.
Yeah.
He's a little flustered after that one.
Yeah, Amene checks back in.
Feels like the balloon has kind of bursted here in this last minute of game action for both sides. We had such a good flow. There just wasn't much scoring to begin the game, but
it's a defensive gem. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the eighth. Everybody on the edge of their pants, edge of their seat, including Austin Sonnenberg.
Driving to the corner, flipped up short, wrestled around a few more times. Hearn comes up with it. As many bounces off the back of the iron as he could muster, and he draws the foul as well.
Oh, the sophomore getting loose down low. He's been active last couple trips. Block shot, fouled the ball. It's strong enough to finish through contact and give his team the lead.
A 2-point advantage here now. 36 ticks to go. Quarter number 2 here on the prep. CC really wants a good look here. They definitely had some good ones in the first half that just wouldn't go down for them.
They've just lacked flow, Jeremy, offensively, until now.
He can get you right back into flow, can he?
Wow.
Mane now has 4, and that's a win in its own right for John Glenn defensively to limit him to 4.
Sure is.
Nadeau with 8 to lead the Shamrocks. We have a 30 taken here. We'll stick with you. 18-18 in quarter number 2. It's Torrey Jackson again. Told you about his run last year at Grand Blanc. Semifinals in his first year as a head coach. He's got stories to tell.
All Big East, Notre Dame legend. I mean, this is a guy that did some great things. 2-time state champion at Saginaw Buena Vista High School.
As time expires, that shot would not have counted, and that is how the half will end. Kind of a frustrating end, it looks like, for John Glenn. Jarrett Smith isn't thrilled. I think he thought that a few fouls or out of bounds here or there could have went his way, but either way, on a back-to-back, we're tied at 18 apiece.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports should be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe that athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe that students in the stands should have fun,
but not take away the focus from the game.
We believe coaches should act like teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and support their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
Welcome back to Westland. John Glenn, glad to be here for the first time, certainly not our last, and partly here because of the fine athletic director leadership of one Jason Malloy.
Thank you.
Jason, thanks for having us, and what a great event here, the Rocket Classic. 18 all at the break, everything you thought of, a dogfight. How fortunate are you to have all these teams here in one site and have this tournament today?
Well, I'm just thankful. It's a great opportunity to be an athletic director to kind of pour back into our youth through sports and academics. But the tournament is great. This is our second year doing the tournament. I've been a football coach and been around the athletic community in the Metro Detroit area for a very long time. So I have a lot of ties with a lot of the schools and a lot of the programs that were in this classic. Obviously, Renaissance, where my daughter played school, Wayne Memorial, where I was the athletic director, Southfield, I was an athletic director there as well. So it's just great to get teams and to get them here to compete at a high level.
No doubt. What a turnaround for your football team this past fall. I know you got a lot of pride in what happened there. One of the better stories in the state of Michigan this past year. Talk about the football team, the resurgence, and the turnaround.
Man, when you talk about a storied program, Chuck Gordon, who was here as a longtime coach here, we had to get it back to those glory days. And hiring Jason Mensing was one of the first steps in getting back there. As an athletic director and a former football coach, to have somebody like Jason Mensing a part of our staff and leading our program is great. Our mantra for our athletics is win forever. That means win in the classroom, win on the field, win in the weight room, and win in the game of life ultimately. And Jason Mensing and his staff embodies that, and our kids bought into his message, the way that he does things, the expectations, and the turnaround. I won't say easy, but when you set the example and the expectation for kids, our kids are great kids. They bought into it.
Sure, and I know the basketball program on the verge of making that same kind of turnaround. We're seeing big strides here already tonight. What's something in the John Glenn culture that maybe folks from the outside that don't know this program as intimately as you do maybe don't know about, but it's kind of a hidden gem here?
Well, I think ultimately, as an athletic director, I've set the expectation that one of my favorite quotes as it pertains to athletics is they don't care what you know until they know that you care. Our job is to care about young people, and when we can do that, the wins will take care of itself. Ultimately, we want them to win forever. Sports will end for everybody at some point, right? Whether they make it to the pros or not. We hope that their experience at John Glenn High School is an experience that builds into their life. They'll be husbands, fathers, mothers, and business owners, that their experience here with us fed into who they are as people as they become older.
It's Jason Malloy, and we're honored to be here.
Thank you. We look forward to having you guys back.
We will be back if you'll have us, and we will continue to follow your club in a dogfight here at halftime. Thanks for taking time.
Thank you very much.
All right, there he is.
And remember, it's always a great day to be a Rocket.
It's a great day today, even though it's a Saturday. We love it. Great to spend a little overtime with the Rockets and the Shamrocks. We're back with more at halftime. John Glenn and Catholic Central deadlocked at 18. Back with more after this.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
Four wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors!
What a cut.
What is up, Westland? Great to be back in Westland, Michigan. You heard from Jason Malloy, the athletic director of John Glenn, and we're here now with Aaron Babbitts, the head athletic director, class of 1993 at Detroit Catholic Central. When they were on Breakfast Drive a little closer to Westland, this has got to feel like getting back to your real roots, right? The Catholic Central getting back in Westland, a little closer to the Livonia location of yesteryear.
It's I'll tell you what, this is it is like a homecoming, to be completely honest. I grew up in South Dearborn Heights, had a lot of friends that went to Westland High School. I grew up playing for Westland Federation baseball. And to be able to work with somebody who I feel like is a culture guy and a fire breather like myself and Jason Malloy, like it's a no-brainer. We've had some great conversations even today about just doing more things together. So it does feel good. It's a great blue-collar matchup. Both teams are fighting their way through some sluggishness, but this is exactly the way it should be. I'm really excited to be a part of this event.
Tory Jackson, the new head coach. You brought him in. I know you're excited about what Tory brings. What is it that he brings?
Tory is I'll tell you what, when we interviewed him, I told him this isn't an X's and O's hire. This is about culture. And we did the same thing in football with Justin Sasante. You and I have talked about that in the past. When he came into the interview, I could feel it right away. You know, obviously he's a Saginaw guy, went to Notre Dame, was a captain there, played some professional basketball. But you can tell when you talk to him that he's genuine, that he loves the kids. The game of basketball changed his life. And now he looks at this opportunity at Catholic Central, honestly, as like life-changing for him. And when he says it, you can feel that he's being honest about it. So that's the thing. The kids love him, and I'm excited to see where he takes our program.
Winter sports, there's a lot of them at Catholic Central that I know you're proud of. Take us through some updates of where you guys are at right now.
We've got hockey currently ranked #1, wrestling currently ranked #1, swim and dives ranked #2 in the state, the bowling team. We've got other sports going on, esports, just excited about the culture.
Keep it rolling, man. Thanks
Appreciate
so much
you,
for
brother.
having
Happy
us
holidays,
out.
guys. Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. Catholic Central and John Glenn resumes right after this quick timeout, and we're back to Westland on the prep. We're tied at 18. Happy holidays, everybody.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
Underway here in the second half, 18-18. John Glenn Catholic Central. Thank both ADs for visiting with us here today. The job of AD has really evolved over the years. I mean, it involves so many more things now than it ever has, though.
It does. You're dealing with high school kids that are now basically elevated to college kids, and the whole deal now with NIL, and everything just kind of moved up an extra layer. But yes, a ton of responsibility. Both these guys do a great job.
Been great to work with to make this happen today as well, as there is a travel to give it right back to Catholic Central. So let's face it, not the prettiest in terms of shooting percentage in that first half for either team. We're around the 35% mark. So we'll see what we see here in half number 2.
Yeah, the defenses were the storyline, and both offenses trying to get on track in the second half.
From the free throw line, little shake and bake move there. No worries for James Werner as John Glenn pulls it down and moves it the other way.
John Glenn yet to hit one from distance, Jeremy. 0 for 11. Look for that to change.
Bryce Wright with a pretty looking 2 that falls. He has 4 now.
Got some long guys that can really finish within 10 feet.
Booked that one from James Werner.
Like Werner's game, he's a gym rat. Guy that can really stroke it, can help CC. They've been pretty solid from downtown in this game.
They weren't making the looks they saw in the first quarter, but they certainly have begun to go down a little bit more frequently here. Ooh, decent look for Jalen Clark, spun out, and Catholic Central able to pull it down.
Somebody check the rims on that end. I mean, they are especially tight, man.
Look out there, and a frustrating turnover for John Glenn.
This is one of those games where, I mean, it's not a live ball turnover, which is better, but man, they sting a little more in a game like this. Possessions.
Amene, beautiful looking move. Amene, an all Catholic League guy last year, definitely has some colleges on his tail. I think that'll continue to rise as the season goes on. Drawing a foul, Strother there as he heads to the line.
Tory calls him one of his alphas.
Yeah.
He's one of my alphas, man. This is a guy that you really want to ride and let you lead. Really flourished this past offseason. His game was already good as we see this rip and drive and the earn of the right to go line right. Mr. Struther, who swatted away, what, 4 shots? 3, 4
For sure
shots
3,
in this game?
But I'm with you. That one definitely looked like it was tipped. That didn't make its way to the rim, the last one.
This we know. He's been a headache defensively. And the slasher is coming on offensively.
23-21. This game has been tight since the opening tip. Many guarded here by Bryce White. Curls one up and through.
Now nobody can miss. I mean, you know, this is starting to really pick up pace.
Braden White through the legs. Off for White on the other side.
Feels like we're at least in the 90s now.
Ooh, and another awkward-looking turnover. I think Cameron thought his buddy was going to cut the other direction. Instead, it ends up out of play.
What's your favorite era? 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s?
Are we talking music?
I don't know. Just an era if you could go back.
Huh. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. Yeah, you got a game to call.
The brain's turning a little slowly in that direction right now.
You got better things to do.
Bryce White over here for CJ Hearn. A little skyhook play. Nothing but string.
Man, he's been efficient. And these guys use glass so well. I mean, everything has been with angles.
Kind of feels what Jarrett Smith is all about. He seems very calculated.
Yeah.
As Amene drills one in a good way.
Sure.
Seems to have a very good hold on what's going on.
Yep. Amene's an interesting guy that kind of one of those fringers. Division II interest, Division I interest coming on.
Nadeau got a piece. Here's Devin Lee. He's been aggressive today, and he draws another foul. That is the second on John Glenn. We did not see the bonus in either the first or the second.
Yeah, and I like the decision-making of Swardini there. Give it up, get it to Lee. 3-on-1, man advantage, and get your guy to the line. Unselfish on the break. I like seeing that.
Swardini already with a pair of assists. Here an assist to get him to the line, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's their leading scorer coming into this game. Hard to imagine, but, I mean, he's their leading scorer, and I think this guy, Amene, is going to be their leader at some point, but the balance and the offensive talent this year is just a different level.
Three ball is through. Devin Lee with a nice little trip down the floor.
2 of 3 from downtown as Lee in this game. CeCe's been pretty good. 6 of 12 in this game, Jeremy, from distance. Biggest lead of the night.
It feels like it came really quickly here. Wow, wrestled it through in a foul. CJ Hearn.
Where did this kid come from? I mean, we talked to Jarrett Smith. He said he liked him. He said he thought he was a nice young lad, a fine player, but who? This is a player. This is a dude. Hearn's a player, man.
Just a young sophomore. But when you make plays like that, driving through some experienced pieces,
yeah,
that'll raise a little alarm in your direction. Many not guarded here by Braden White. Twirls through 3, blocked from behind. John Glenn trying to spike it. Braden White with a good effort that time, but it's staying here with Catholic Central.
Yeah, White, the blocks tonight, protection of the rim.
Nadeau over the top and through.
It makes him so dangerous, Jeremy. He can finish inside with that size or shoot it from distance.
Three minutes left here in the third. Kent Hill now settling in, junior backup point guard. Hasn't seen a whole lot of time today, but these two benches really opening up now. Also see Dougie Wicker in there for the first time, number 12.
Yeah, and they like Wicker off that bench.
Stayed with it on the steal. Amene lost the handle. The court monster, I guess. We call it the turf monster in football.
Court monster out of nowhere. I don't know what it hit. Alex Westfall will show us, but it hit something in the middle of that floor. I'm convinced. And it scooted away from Amene, a guy who has that thing on a yo-yo most times.
Wicker with the exchange now for Hearn. Step back, 3-ball, just shy. Stolen away by Dougie Wicker as he leans one for Jalen Clark. And John Glenn going to regroup before this inbound.
Yeah, and Hearn, a little heat check. I think he's more of a mid-range guy, but he was feeling it. You let him take that shot.
Wicker gets the call as they distribute it around.
Oh, he's giving him all kinds of headaches, Jeremy.
They got out of it fine, attacking to the 10 as Jalen Clark answers. And just the way kind of this game has gone, it feels like each possession is almost critical. At least you need to get a good look here if you're John Glenn.
No doubt.
They do, wow. Big shot there, 37-28 as CC really looks to pull away.
They do with his third triple of the game. Very confident step in there.
Through a pair that time. Shy. CC looks to run. Amene down the court. No call either direction as he lays it in.
That time he finishes. Strong, confident finish.
13 for him today. Off the inside now for Hearn. Minute left in the third. Amene thriving. That one went out though. Devin Lee, right place, right time.
Yeah, Devin Lee, just a sticky player. The X factor, guy that can do it all.
Foul picked up by Amene here.
He went for that steal the same manner again. And it worked the first couple times. This time the reach around got him. But he's a headache. He's a two-way guard. And, I mean, Amene's so talented defensively, too.
That's Amene's second. He's the only player on the Shamrocks with more than one. Fouls have not really been a story here today.
No, pretty clean. You're right.
Down the middle, Braden White. Ooh, hot pass to the corner. Braden gets it back, sends it shy. Another offensive rebound. Still 20 seconds to play here in the third.
Yeah, and Wicker a part of it again.
A leaner falls off the inside, stripped away there by Clark. Has another opportunity, juggled in the air, and drawing a foul is Dougie Wicker now all of a sudden.
Yeah, quarterback. Going line right, and this is a guy that has helped keep a few possessions alive. But I tell you, the Rockets as a team, so active on the offensive glass. CC's having a difficult time rebounding in that matchup zone. And Wicker took advantage, and so did his teammates to keep it alive.
Took a year off of basketball last year. Really tried to dig into whether football would be his primary route. Also a really good baseball player as well. That might just be his future.
The old throwback. You don't see many three-sport guys.
Amene, time winding down, got it up in time as his shot was kind of disrupted from behind. Falls to the deck, but no foul. CC really took their advantage here in the third, up by 11.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
Well, CC outscoring John Glenn 23-10 in that third, and it kind of felt all of that.
You did. You felt it. Nadu with a good quarter. Uchenna with an excellent quarter. Just a good CC quarter, dominant, and it's got them out to their biggest lead of the night.
John Glenn will have the basketball. They had their chances. They
have
good
they've
looks.
Missed some free throws. They've missed some open looks. They're not a team that plays well from behind.
Wow, ripping down the rim. Cameron Strother showing what he can do tonight.
He's been electric. Block shots, can leap. Fun player to watch.
Maybe a play like that gets them re-energized here in the fourth.
Plays so hard too. With all those tools, a lot of guys don't play that hard sometimes. Not this guy.
Well, we've seen the bench open up a little bit further for CC than normal, and it's opened up here lately for John Glenn as well.
Look at this hammer. Boom. Explosive. 6'5", 4 or 5 blocks in the night too.
There he is again. Whistled for the foul this time around.
Put an asterisk next to that one. 5.5. Another look. Bam.
Devin Lee will miss. Right up there in points for the Shamrocks. He's got 11 and 5 today.
Guy that's really starting to take off. Come into his own right. Brother DJ got a lot of hype and love. Rightfully so, but this kid's his own player.
Dougie Wicker right back to the post. Cameron hangs in the air. Offensive rebound swatted from behind. And another foul is called. Devin Lee. No, actually, Nadu is going to be whistled for his second. Team first here in the fourth as things reset at the quarter break. Jalen Clark to the line.
Clark. Guy's been so active on the offensive glass.
Yeah, Jared Smith kind of compared him to a guy he had at Romulus who's now playing in the NFL actually on Sundays these days with the Tampa Bay Bucks. That's Kayvon Mayweather.
Yeah, that's right. Former Iowa linebacker. Kind of a freak athlete, if you will. What do we got here? What's Rick Massa got going on? I don't know, but Massa didn't like it, wasn't having any of that.
Huh.
Veteran official. He's ready to get to the Lions game, too.
42-30. Key miss there from John Glenn.
Yeah, they've been 4 of 9 from the line in this game, Jeremy.
Jalen Clark boards again. He runs all the way. Nadu stripped it.
I mean, you just can't have empty trips when you get to the free throw line with the clock stopped. There you see Torrey Jackson snapping commands. He's a player's coach, no doubt. After his mentor, Mike Bray, modeled his style quite a bit after him.
Trickling from behind, got a second opportunity to Braden White. Finally, one of those offensive rebounds goes.
The offensive rebounds for John Glenn is what's keeping them in this game. And a nice job by White to stay with it after he missed it.
There's a big defensive board. CJ Hearn stretches all the way out.
Outstanding wall up by Struthers. Didn't foul.
And the Catholic Central fans oohing and eyeing as Amene is called for the foul. They thought that might have been a tad bit clean.
Yeah, that's his third foul too, and Torrey Jackson a bit nervous. Gonna have to think about taking him out.
Still 6 minutes left here in the final stanza. Bounce pass to the right here. Dougie Wicker looking for options. Gave it off, got it back in tight area there. To the outside, too strong for CJ Hearn, and now Wicker is hurt.
Ow, this is tough to see. Wicker rolled that ankle and is in some pain, and we'll step aside for the moment with 6 minutes left in this game. 10-point lead for Catholic Central.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
.42-32. The lead here for Catholic Central. They've got the basketball as well. Devin Lee to the 10. Wow, that one rolled off.
Tight rims. Got to talk to Jason Malloy about that.
At some point, John Glenn has got to capitalize on some of these, and they do. Braden White rips the twine that time.
That's their first three-point basket make in 15 tries, and it happens at the 5:35 mark at a critical juncture, Jeremy.
That's certainly not usually the role you get at home. Amene locked down by Bryce White, stripped to the basketball here, and it's going the other direction.
Yeah, Rockets sort of moving momentum their way. Get a stop, get a 50-50 ball, get a three. Things are starting to feel a little better in this gym. Cool gym, huh? This is unique.
It is.
How would you describe it?
I don't know, kind of in the middle of old school and I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
They've got some unique arches as that one will fall as well. And don't look now, but CJ Hearn has made it a 4-point game.
Wow. Back-to-back threes. They had made one in 14 tries, and they knocked two down. The odds of it leveling out.
CC looks a little discombobulated all of a sudden. They feel the heat.
They do.
This is the defense we saw early, too. Right in your face, not allowing much space. Swardini got through, swatted away. Right to Nadeau. Wow, what action there. Ends at a Catholic Central little dagger here with 4 minutes to go. It forces a timeout as well.
How about TJ Nadeau? 4 of 6 from downtown, and that's what big-time players do in spots like that, to distance themselves and get their team to a bigger lead. Want to tell you about our friends at Chicken Guy. Fabulous, fabulous lunch this afternoon. Winter chicken dinner. And thank you to Guy Fieri's Chicken Guy for feeding our crew for tonight's game. Chicken Guy on Plymouth Road in Livonia is Michigan's only location. Stop in for some tasty tenders or order online 7 days a week. We've got tenders, we got chicken sandwiches, fried pickles. We had a salad for Pat the Stat, the only weirdo who ate a salad. We had a lot of things here. It was delicious, and we thank Chicken Guy for their service. Also, mac and cheese and coleslaw that was killer. What was your favorite, partner?
You know, I told you I really liked the flavor of the chicken. I thought the seasoning was on point.
It is, and it's a panko breadcrumb.
Yes.
I'm starting to sound
Talk to me about
Guy
it,
Fieri. It's a panko breadcrumb that just settles nicely, and it's got kind of a fluff to it with some crunch. Oh my God, I gotta stop. It's so good.
I drive by it all the time. I'll be stopping more frequently. Yes,
Now we know.
Yes. To the rim and a foul. Boy, he just rises out of nowhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Kyle Klein called this foul immediately. Torrey Jackson didn't like it, but the aggressor wins, and the aggressor right now is John Glenn. And Cameron Strother's been a player tonight on both ends of the court.
Strother able to make his first, a guy that's getting some Division II looks at this point.
Good size at 6'5", good length, slasher, guy that just never takes a play off. Blocks shots like it's his business.
So John Glenn has made a game of this here in the fourth after CC looked like they would run away after a 13-point advantage in that third quarter. John Glenn needs a bunch of more stops, though, to really secure this thing. Stankiewicz, or check that, Gibson going to get called with the foul there.
And that's the third team foul. And again, for those that have not heard the new rules, there's no more 1-and-1. There's no more seventh team foul. It's 5 fouls and then double bonus.
Aggressive drive, tied up that time by Strother, but a foul whistled.
Second foul on Strother only.
Yeah, foul trouble isn't a huge issue outside of Nadeau, who stepped to the line here. He's got 3.
Both teams have been poor from the free throw line. CC 3 of 9. John Glenn 5 of 11. What happened to free throw shooting? Get off my lawn.
2 coaches you wouldn't necessarily expect that out of either.
All right, I'm being get off my lawn guy. But that's not good.
Strother couldn't get it off the inside, and CC looking to push all the way home. Can't get it off the back of the glass. Now numbers potentially for John Glenn.
Got to settle down here if you're John Glenn. No need to rush it.
Hearn did just a tad, taken right back here by Catholic Central as Uchenna will slow things down.
Strong defense by Nadeau. Boy, has he been special in this game.
Wow, the floodgates cleared that time, but can't get it off the back of the glass. Now the Rockets down a man, and a turnover.
Yeah, Terrell zigged, and Bryce White zagged. And that's a turnover.
They're 11th today.
Not great.
Both teams have been fairly high in that category. 9 as well for Catholic Central. We'll see Jerry Harris see some time, the junior guard, number 4.
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet, I don't think.
Uchenna going to dribble into a foul here. That's White who picks it up. Braden White is second. We'll have some more free throws here for Uchenna.
Well, Catholic Central will have some non-division games coming up before they resume against their rival Brother Rice for their next league game. They'll have to wait till the 4th of January before getting another chomp at it.
See the guys pulling out the sauce here late in this game? They need some energy.
Oh, man. Who made that call? Was that C-Jack? That's like your 8th tender, bro. and Sonnenberg, that's his 10th. Who's counting?
They've got two
double
dipping
bonus
sauces
down
open
there.
here. They're
Poor Westfall hasn't even, he's had like half a tender. Alex got here, and he's had half a tender. You guys are on your 10th. Pat's back here eating salads, licking the dressing. Shame on you all.
Amene flashes off for Lee now. Ooh, good little no-look pass. Wanted out of the gym again, though.
Yeah.
That's time Bryce White got a paw on it. Turn. A little bit too quickly that time.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
2-on-1 going the other direction, and Devin Lee headed to the stripe.
Lee's so good in transition. Knows when to put it up and give it up. Here's another look. On the move. Foul. That's Bryce White. Bryce White with another one. Back to that line. The line challenges here.
Third foul on White. And after 3 full quarters where we did not see the bonus, we've seen it here in the 4th. Second one drilled it. The lead back to 10 here for CC.
John Glenn's going to be interesting in the KLAA. I'm excited to follow their progress. They've got a team. They've got more pieces than some might think, and I think they've shown that tonight, Jeremy, no matter what happens. It's a fun, exciting team. I think Jarrett Smith's building something.
Backs up with the 3, looking to put it right back up there as Clark. He was stripped. CC had a luxury to really slow it down if they want to now.
Yep, CC's got this thing in the bag. They just got to be careful to trap. It's a patient, mature offense. Veteran guards always helps against this trap and blitz coming here.
Turned off a good 20-plus seconds already here.
Look at that.
And that's the winner all through it. Devin Lee. He's got 15.
Yeah, from James Werner, though, that pass was pretty.
15 and 7 for Devin Lee today after the slow start from the field.
Prettier than that flow. That's hard to be.
That goes against Nadeau. It's his 4th tonight. 14 fouls on CC, so just on the floor. 3 off the inside. Boy, they've just been cold from the three-point arc here tonight.
Yeah, you're not lying.
2 for 17 here for the home Rockets.
Swardini got poked in the eye inadvertently by White, I think. There you see Jarrett Smith, former Wolverine.
They got an opportunity at both alma maters, as we talked about. Played 2 years here at John Glenn, 2 years at Romulus as well.
Played for Nate Oates. Of course, who's at Alabama now. Went to Buffalo before heading to greener pastures. Staff under Bobby Hurley. Buffalo got his start, and boy, has he made the best of it. Not a bad mentor for Jarrett Smith to have.
2 guys who have learned under some of the best. Grizzly veteran for Torrey Jackson under Mike Bray, of course.
Yep.
Braden White jacks one up, won't fall, and CC may just slow it down entirely. As John Glenn still putting on the pressure defensively against them. Nadeau dribbles it to the post. One more pass for Devin Lee. He continues to thrive. Bullying his way down the lane. That one, I don't know if they counted that or not for Jalen Clark. I think the shot was no, they did count it. They're going to give this an and one opportunity.
No, Rick Massa didn't give us a strong signal, but I think you're right. Scoreboard tells us.
Rims off for Amene. 17 seconds to go. CC has this one in the bag. Not sure we'll even see any fouling here. (54-41) your final score. Catholic Central able to take this one tonight. It was a slow start. Both of these two teams scuffling in the scoring department in the first. It picked up in the third. That's where CC really took their advantage. Our G of the game. We'll name him and interview him when we get back here on the Prep.
Every morning, I woke up with stabbing pain in my feet. Plantar fasciitis, the doctor called it. All I know is it really hurt. One visit to fix my feet today and the pain was gone. And even better, the custom arch supports I got worked in all my shoes.
Don't wait. End your foot pain now. Call or visit Fix My Feet today.
Fix My Feet is now open in Rochester Hills, located on Rochester Road in the Target Center. Come in for a free consultation.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
Welcome back to John Glenn, everyone. Nice win here for Catholic Central. Got to double digits and stayed there most of the fourth quarter. Now time to name our G of the game here at court level. TJ Nadeau is our winner here today. Congratulations. Nice game for you. 15 points overall. More importantly, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. What are your thoughts on your performance here today?
You know, I think a big part of this game is we know what type of team we're going up against. Super competitive, super tough, super gritty, and you know, we knew they were going to punch us in certain areas, and we figured out how to punch them back.
How tough was it, because you don't do a lot of back-to-back games in high school, how tough was it to turn right around and play another game tonight?
You know, it took a lot of preparation, that's for sure. I know last night I had to get I went in the lake, kind of broke through the ice, kind of had to ice down and, you know, really get ready for this thing. We got up early, had a team breakfast around 10:30, got shots up at 11, kind of just doing all the little things to make sure we were ready and prep for this game.
But things like this will definitely help you down the road as you speak towards state playoffs, and obviously you guys have aspirations to that. But overall, this definitely a good win for you guys on the road. You know, what was the success, I guess, going down the stretch to get the shooting going a little bit more for the team?
You know, we started off a little slow, and, you know, part of that is just kind of figuring out how to get in the flow with a team like this. You know, they're very aggressive, very good defensively. I think we just had to wear them out on kind of cutting, moving, making them run with us. I think we have that endurance to be able to beat them out that way. As you saw towards the end of the game, we just had the energy to keep going, and they didn't. And I think that's kind of how we started to stretch it out and push them more. I thought we were making great cuts, and that led to a lot of shots, and we kind of figured that out. Like, hey, we got to keep moving. They're going to make mistakes, and then we'll make them pay off those mistakes.
Well, you're definitely one of the veterans of this squad. How much, have you tried to lead this group this year?
A lot. It's we got a lot of young guys, and then we got a lot of upperclassmen, though. But a big part of our upperclassmen is a lot of them weren't varsity players. So we got a lot of guys that we're trying to implement. A lot of them, like in our last game against De La Salle, never played in a crowd like that before. Never played in an atmosphere with that type of level of competitiveness, and kind of just getting everybody to figure out how to mold into a style of game like that. It's not easy. We got a lot of really talented guys, and just kind of figuring out how to get them molded into this game, molded into the big time moments like that, and being able to figure out how to execute. This is a tough game. We figured out how to execute at this one and kind of just keep learning.
Catholic League definitely physical. That's, I'm sure, something you're talking about with some of these younger guys. How do you stay fresh? I mean, maybe it's jumping in a lake like you did, but what are some things to stay fresh throughout a year?
A big part of it is my trainer. We got 2 of them at CC, and they both do an amazing job of just kind of helping me focus on things and get my rehab up, and kind of just hitting all those little things. If I ever have an issue, I literally go to them and I just say, hey, I'm hurting here. What do I do? And they kind of give me the go-tos, all those little things I can do to make it feel better. That's a big part of kind of how I stay in my recovery and getting back, which is a huge part of the game.
Well, TJ, thanks for joining us here today. Congrats on these honors here tonight as well. He's our G of the game on the prep. Big win for the Catholic Central Shamrocks after their loss last night to De La Salle. And I'm sure we'll see them again down the road in the always competitive Catholic High School League Central Division. For our whole crew here today, my broadcast partner Chad Bush, I'm Jeremy Otto. So long. Go Lions.